Greetings, thrill seekers. I am the Master Programmer. This week, Morpheus brings us two stories pulled from the seams of reality, where the familiar becomes twisted and the illusion of safety becomes a trap. Both stories begin in ordinary homes, places where people felt secure. But in each, someone or something was already there, watching, waiting. So, if you're looking for a fright, something scary to watch at night, stay with us as Morpheus unveils two disturbing tales of hidden presence and dark purpose. First, in The Man in the Crawlspace, a woman begins to suspect she's not alone in her home. But the truth she uncovers isn't just unsettling, it's dangerous. Then, in The Ones Who Stayed Behind, a young man moves into a seemingly empty house, only to find it alive with shadowy figures and evil intentions. He thought it was haunted. He was wrong. These stories are not for the faint of heart, so sit back, turn down the lights, and listen to the eerie tales Morpheus has uncovered. And if you enjoy our content, please subscribe to our channel for more chilling stories and dark discoveries. Welcome to another journey into the unknown, brought to you by the Dark Files. Jenna had found the perfect place. A quaint 1940s townhome tucked between pine trees on the edge of Portland. It creaked at night, sure, but it was old and to be expected. She told herself it was normal. It turned out to be anything but normal. At first, it was little things. A mug moved from the sink to the table. Her slippers were found in the bathroom, even though she swore she left them by her bed. She laughed it off, blaming herself, or the lingering stress of a recent breakup. That was until her keys went missing. One morning, they were gone entirely, only to be discovered hours later inside the microwave. More unnerving, her dog, a normally sleepy golden retriever, began acting strangely. Every night at 2 a.m., he would sit in the hallway, facing a small vent, growling low and deep. Jenna started sleeping with the TV on, comforted by the noise, pretending to not hear the faint scraping sounds in the walls. Finally, one restless night, she decided to check. Armed with a screwdriver and her phone's flashlight, she knelt by the vent. Her hands shook slightly as she unscrewed the cover. At first, she saw only darkness, then a glint of something metallic. A candy wrapper, a crumpled water bottle, and then, deeper back, a mattress, stained and sagging, crammed into the narrow crawl space. Police arrived within minutes. They found clear evidence of someone living behind her walls. Food scraps, piles of stolen clothes, and most chillingly, a small black notebook. Inside were pages of handwritten notes, detailed schedules of Jenna's daily movements, lists of her favorite meals, even the names of her friends and co-workers. Each page was carefully, obsessively written. On the final page, scrawled over and over, was a single sentence. "Soon, she will be ready to meet me." But that wasn't all. Hidden beneath the filthy mattress, officers uncovered a Polaroid camera and dozens of photographs. photos of Jenna sleeping, all taken from strange angles, through vents, slightly open doors, and even from the attic hatch. She had never known she was being watched. For months, he had been inside her home, studying her every move. Whoever he was, he had vanished, as if he never existed. Jenna left her house that night, her belongings still inside. She never went back. She couldn't. And sometimes, even now, when she walks past dark windows or feels a chill brush against her neck, she swears she can still feel his eyes on her. When Owen moved into the old rental house at the edge of town, he chalked up the heavy air in strange drafts to poor insulation. The landlord said it had been empty for almost a year. Owen didn't ask why. The first few nights were restless. Footsteps echoed through the halls late at night. The attic door would swing open on its own, the padlock clattering against the wood. Lights flickered, doors creaked, textbook haunted house stuff. Owen laughed it off with his friends. "It's an old house," he said. "They're supposed to be creepy." That was until Owen started to see the shadows. At first, they hovered at the corner of his vision. Tall, thin shapes melting into walls when he turned his head. One night, he caught them in the reflection of the TV screen. Figures standing motionless behind him, their faces lost in blur. When he spun around, the room was empty. Desperate to prove he wasn't losing his mind, Owen set up cameras. He placed them in every room, leaving the monitors running while he slept. That was a mistake. At 3:03 a.m., the cameras pulsed with static, as if something unseen brushed against them. In the brief flashes between images, he saw them. Dozens of figures walking through the house. They pressed their palms against the walls, the ceilings, the floors, leaving dark, wet impressions that faded into nothing. Their heads turned in perfect unison, staring straight into the lens. And then, the static cleared. They were gone. The next morning, Owen found his bedroom door wide open, and a trail of faint, oily footprints leading up the stairs into the attic. By the third night, the house seemed to breathe. The walls pulsed slightly. Owen's dreams became dense and sticky, filled with low chanting and shapes moving just beyond the edge of sight. He knew he had to leave. But when he tried the door, it wouldn't budge. The windows were painted shut. That's when he heard it. A deep, rhythmic thudding from the attic above. Not footsteps this time. Something heavier. Compelled by a force he couldn't fight, Owen climbed the attic stairs. The hatch was already open, yawning wide like a mouth. He stepped inside. The attic was vast, far larger than the house should have allowed. Dozens of shadowy figures stood in a perfect circle, their backs turned toward him, heads bowed. They were chanting now, a slow, bone-rattling sound that vibrated through Owen's chest. In the center of the circle was a mirror, but it didn't reflect the attic. It showed a darkened world, endless, gray, and full of countless more figures, all staring back at him. All waiting. Owen tried to scream, but the sound died in his throat. The shadows turned to face him as one, arms outstretched. Their faces, now visible, were hollow and ancient. As they reached for him, Owen understood. He was just a visitor. He was brought here. He was part of the ritual. And the house had never been empty. It was only waiting for him. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the chills, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our page to stay updated. Stay vigilant. The unknown is always closer than you think.